Hello, my little ponies, and welcome back. We start off, as we do, in our room. We have a whole lot of experience. What is the max level? That is a good question. Well, once we finally get outside, and like, yeah, I hear you, getting outside takes a lot of time and effort. So it's like, okay, we don't know how much we'd be able to do with all of this, so that... Actually, that the ice is its own. Destinies. So we know that we get 3 per level. Right? 3 abilities per level. We start off with 1. So we'd get tier 6 at 109. So that'd be, say, 108 divided by 3. So by level 36 we can get that. Or if any of these add up to more than that, I mean 37, right? So it looks like we should be able to make it to level 37. Like I would expect, the actual total level would be a bit higher than that. Alright, let's get going. Bye. Run off to investigate your farm. I think I need a blacksmithing table to start start salvaging items from before I go so far away. Should go and do that real quick. Don't I have a blacksmithing table? I just forgot to use it. Isn't that the case? Yeah, I think so. So let's go back home and store some supplies. God, remember when Oblivion is the big thing? Back before Skyrim came out? Well, I played Oblivion. And I had it for console. Wait, do I not get a... Did I not get a blacksmith table? Yeah, there's Sagecraft. New agents. More different stuff. I guess I didn't get blacksmithing. But I wanted to play it on a computer, so I could have access to console commands and mods to, you know, really have fun at the game. But at the time, the computer that I had wasn't capable of running Oblivion. Yes! Without a joke, yes. The computer that I had at the time wasn't able to run. Um, that's right, so I had to use my dad's laptop in order to play the game. I remember around that time I'd also gotten an old netbook computer. Uh, it's like just a really decently small laptop. I love that thing. I used it for... I brought it to school to take notes on stuff. I loved writing on that thing. This would be about 16 years ago, at least, right? 2010 or before. This game came out in late 2011. So I tried playing Oblivion on the netbook computer. So I think this... So yeah. I couldn't play Oblivion on my computer because it wasn't good enough. I was able to play it on my dad's laptop, so he used his laptop, and eventually he became my laptop. He just... If he got on a new computer, and he just kind of just left that one. Yeah, some of those computers that I got were just my dad's old computer. That he either just gave to me or sold to me. I still have one of those giant monitor Macs sitting in a closet somewhere that I paid him $1,000 for. For someone who's so into games like me, a Mac was a mistake. Regardless. I remember trying to play on this little tiny little netbook computer. And it was not good enough to properly run Oblivion. I could do the introductory part, like I could do the tutorial. But if I got to certain rooms, the game would crash because it wasn't able to properly load. Like I could do most of the tutorial, actually. But the last room of the tutorial, the one with water, it would just crash instead of actually loading. So I couldn't actually properly play it. But I played on my dad's computer that became my computer and played through. I'm not sure if I got mods back then or if I just experimented with console commands a bunch. Yeah, some people will mod the heck out of their games, but they won't ever play with console commands. Remember, what was it? Dead Rising. Right, I got Dead Rising for... I think I had it for console. Did I download it for computer or something? I don't remember. But I was playing it on computer. And there's a part in Chapter 1. Gosh, my voice is so bad. There's a part in Chapter 1 where you're supposed to get, oh, I don't know what you're supposed to get for it. Wait, it's part in Chapter 1 where you see what's like on the other side of this door. In order to do that, this guy is standing in the way. He's like, hey, do this mission for me. Okay, now do this mission for me. Okay, now do this mission for me. I think he has you do like 4 separate missions. And then he's like, okay, fine, you can go behind this door now and do the thing that you actually need to do for a separate mission. But with the game on computer, just walk straight through the guy, through the door. Turns out, and then you can just like finish the other mission. Just like easy. Oh gosh, do I go back and just put in these 2 utility sockets? They're not weapon sockets, they won't increase the damage. This will be lightning. Dead Rising was a fun game to play, I will say. The control scheme was really unique among games, because you had to use the stick to, like, move the weapons like an attack button. How far away can you get something? And dead. So I'm pretty sure at some point or other over time I've either read through or done every quest in Oblivion. Like, I don't think there's necessarily any content in there that I'm not aware of. But who's to say, really? I've spent a lot of time on the Oblivion wiki reading about stuff, especially about bugs, because some of the bugs are really funny. Yeah, then of course Skyrim came out, and everyone started talking about Skyrim, and nobody really cared about Oblivion anymore. I still like it. And then Skyrim came out, and then Skyrim came out, and then Skyrim came out, and we still just keep getting Skyrim. And, like, don't get me wrong, like, Skyrim was a fun game, but I didn't get as invested. I didn't get nearly as invested in Skyrim as I did. And sometimes I wonder if that's because Skyrim is, like, a bit too polished or something, because, like, I like Oblivion's jankiness, I like its oddities. And during that time there's a D&D group that I joined locally. Yeah, I joined a local D&D group. We played on Saturdays, I think. So I wound up getting a ride there on, like, Saturday morning to hang out for the day. And then we play on Saturday evening. And that was the idea. And for quite a while, it was just me watching one of the people who lived there just playing Skyrim. Who was a sort of Skyrim player of, oh, I know I just cleared out this dungeon of all of its baddies, but now I have to collect every single speck of dirt that I can find and drag it all back to town so I can sell it. Oh, no. It's like, yeah, pick up as much as I can without getting over encumbered, fast travel to town, sell just the extra stuff, fast travel back to the dungeon, keep clearing it out until I'm almost over encumbered, fast travel back to town, sell the stuff, and it's like these trips, like, yeah, you might be getting like 12 septums per trip. Wouldn't it be better to like just go to a new dungeon and get more valuable stuff? But like, find some storage thing, put all of your heavy gear in there so you can just make 2 trips instead of like 10. Don't backseat the game. Don't be a backseat gamer. It's like, why'd you even invite me to be here? So we could hang out if you don't want me to hang out. Yeah, I understand how annoying it is when people are telling you that you're playing the game wrong. But you are legitimately playing the game wrong. And it's like, I don't know. Is this fun for you? To keep fast traveling back to the same place? Pick up garbage? Most of this garbage that you're carrying back to town, you're not actually getting any money out of it. You're selling it for 0. You're spending time picking up garbage to give to the shopkeeper for free. Is this fun for you? I'm sure I always grumbled like it was such a chore. It's like, you're the one who's making it a chore. You can just not do this. There's stuff to be said about getting to know Oblivion, getting to know, like, oh, hey, basically, yeah. It's like, okay, this container is safe to put stuff in, this container isn't. But basically, any container is safe to put stuff in if you're not going to be gone for more than 3 days. Because stuff takes 3 days to, like, replenish its supplies. Like, if you get, like, a house, then all this stuff is, like... pretty much at some point, I could pretty reliably just look up. Like, any different container. Pretty sure the real strategy is to, like, save the game, remove all the stuff from a container, leave the area, wait 3 days, heck, wait a 4th, just to be safe, go back and check the container. If it's still empty, then that's a safe container. Then you can reload and you know that you can use up the storage. If stuff is respawned in it, then it's not a safe container. And you should try somewhere else. This is a Wabberjack to turn enemies into random stuff, including turning enemies into street rolls by a low chance. And that's the only way to kill like quest important NPCs. Making custom items of like, was it stamina damage? Because if you put, because you can make items that drain 5 points of either health, magic, or stamina. What's it 5 points health? Oh no, you can make stuff that would drain 5 stamina per second. And everyone regenerates 10 stamina per second, so if you make someone equip 2 stamina draining items, the stamina won't be covered. So then if you get them to run around or start attacking, you know, doing stuff to drain stamina, eventually they'll just reach 0 and just kind of collapse and they won't stand back up again. You could also just make them wear 3 stamina draining items and just watch their stamina just go negative and then they just never get back up again. It's like, yeah, of course you could just have them drain health, but some characters are totally fine with that. I kind of want to try to do an Oblivion playthrough. Eat a poison apple. Like, yeah. Use the console to give myself a poison apple. And try to play through the whole game. And try to beat the game while being poisoned. the whole time. If you're willing to use glitches in Oblivion, you can make yourself confused. Once you get access to champions on here, but level up! Oh my gosh, these trolls give a lot. The game is just a little bit bugged because it won't tell me. It won't tell me what these abilities do. Alright, save the game. Why does it only tell me what the next category to the right does? Why won't it actually tell me? Yeah, just what's up with that? Alright, hold on. Let me try something else real quick here. Alright, I fixed it. So, if you use your cursor, you can go up here. But then it's supposed to reset here? I don't know, something about looking at the abilities messed this up. Maybe I should have just used my mouse to just select that. Maybe that would have just been fine. The fact that this still only lasts for 2 minutes is annoying. Chance to siphon health. That's cool. That, whatever. Yeah, making that go from 50 to 55 isn't so great. Send health to me is pretty nice. Alright, so I have, what, like 37 or something? Okay, yeah, no, I need... 48 divided by 3, 16? Yeah, I need to be at least level 16. Right, so as I was talking about Oblivion and stuff. There's like a magic staff that you can cast on someone to make like an evil twin version of themselves. And you could have it work on you if you go into an area with enemies that are naturally hostile to you, break their weapons, drop the staff close to them to essentially convince them to use the staff, have them use the staff on you, kill them so that they drop the staff. Not technically needed for the glitch, but important for later. And then leave the cave before the staff effect wears off. And something about not being in the same area as the staff makes the effects essentially permanent, I think. But then you have a version of you that wants to kill you. And if you kill yourself...
The troll named Nyx had a most troubled heart. In nature, it was displeased with its part. It hated its difference from the norm, and wished to shed its current form. In grief, it went to the maid window. She motioned to Nyx, and beckoned him near. It is your wish to be human, I see, she whispered to the troll in glee. I shall grant you your wish and make you so. You are a human now, she cackled. Go.
Okay then. Yeah, and so of course killing the clone will kick you out of every guild that you're in because you killed a member of all of those guilds. But you can do like a pacify spell on yourself, on your clone, to make it not hostile towards you anymore. And then you can just go around with an ally, as long as you can maintain. So that could also be a thing, just... I mean, if you're... But if... Like, before you go around just giving yourself the staff to set this whole thing up, if you are willing to use cheats to essentially make a clone for yourself, you can just use console commands to clone yourself. Unfortunately, the clone won't immediately be adventuring with you, so you would need a... I used a mod, specifically, to make everyone recruitable as an ally. Ooh, mana regen, that's cool.
Greetings! I'm afraid you've caught me at a bad time, friend. You see, I am in distress. I lent my journal to his name is Horace Despero. He ventured in... No. I am worried about him, and I must admit, it may sound selfish. But the journals, if possible, I need to find out what became of my friend. And I'm a surveyor from a mining company from the east. The journal contains... I lent it to Horace so that he could... Since he hasn't returned, I'm worried something terrible might have happened down there. It should be somewhere, as I said. Horace may be trapped down there. Farewell. Greetings.
Well, okay then. So yeah. Just... Especially since, like, right at the end of the tutorial, you can customize your character basically however you like. Yeah, in the Oblivion tutorial, you can get, I think, most skills up to level 100 if you're willing to actually practice and train that way. You can get Conjuration up to level 100 because you can have access to a Conjuration spell. Mana regenerates over time, generally speaking. So you can have infinite mana. So you can cast infinite spells. So all of the spells, since if you take them as class skill, you can get them as a spell. Restoration and Destruction, you get no matter what. But Conjuration is the important one because spells need to be cast on in such a way as to be useful in order to actually level them up. So Conjuration, you get to summon a skeleton, and then you can attack the skeleton and get all of your weapon skills as well as Destruction. Alteration, I believe that's the open locks. So you can just cast that on, like, any door. Easy enough. Restoration, just keep casting, you don't have to full health. Cast a spell. Destruction on the summon, etc. Light armor, heavy armor, block. You can build up by... I mean, when you attack the skeleton, you aggro it. And then it starts to attack you, and then you can level up those skills. What do you do when your armor breaks? Good question. In the original 1.0 version of the game, you can clone items in the tutorial. They patched that method of cloning and put in a method of cloning that doesn't work in the tutorial. Typically speaking. Why am I not electrocuting myself? Lord!
And so the troll named Nyx to town it came, never suspecting it was still the same. It crushed the road and split into the wall, and Kreth and Eärmur were surely to fall. They faced the troll and fought to no avail. The wise knights knew what was wrong in our tale. The treacherous maid Windermere at play. We know in part what is wrong with this fay. And so, Lord Eärmur shouted to Lord Kreth, "Challenge this troll to a duel to the death."
Right. And so, yeah, you can pick up a bow, fire an arrow, drop an item at the same time. I never used this method because I always played the patch version and used that stupid. And then you can duplicate items, and you can get the stuff to make this dupe work in the tutorial, so you could have infinite armor or just infinite repair hammers. Let your armor get damaged, and then you repair it. That's something I want or something I don't. I cannot tell. And of course, acrobatics and athletics, you can just run around and jump around and everything will be fine there. I'm sure there's something that you can't maximize in the tutorial, I just don't remember. Alright, and because of how you're supposed to use the spells, it would be really interesting to a playthrough of only being level 1 by only raising the skills and then not class skills. So when you leave the tutorial area, all of your skills are level 100, but since you level them up and they're not class skills, you can't level them up. You can't level anything up anymore, so you can't get any levels. Because of course, in Oblivion, it's not necessarily a challenge run to stay at level 1. It's just about recommended. The two ways of properly leveling up are either just don't level up, or 5-5-1s. Technically 5-5-5s also work, but 5-5-1s is slightly recommended because that's the only way to get luck up. And that is its own entire thing. All of the skills are related to stats. So like athletics, dexterity, I think. Whatever. If you level up skills, then when you go to level up, you can raise your stats based off of the number of skills that got leveled up during that level up cycle. So I think it's level up 10 class skills in order to gain a level, in order to be able to level up. And it's like, oh, well, you raised 5 strength skills, so your strength can go up by 5. Or you raised 5 dexterity skills, 5 perception skills, whatever. Luck doesn't have any skills. So, you can level up 3 of your stats whenever you level up, based off of the amount that you raised during that level up period. If you want to 5-5-5, you would have to level up 5 non-class skills. Or level up non-class skills 5 times, I should say. And just really calculate it and balance it to make it all work out. It's, you know, a lot of meticulously making sure that you level up skills just the right amount. You don't want to level up anything too much, you want to level up just the right amount to make it all work. As mentioned, as you level up, everything gets more difficult, but you do get better quest rewards. You only level up when you sleep, and there are only a few times in the game you actually have to sleep. There's joining the Dark Brotherhood, and there's, I think, 2 quests that require you to sleep, but one of them will level up. Might be 3 quests. At least one of them will level up. Oh. Now I want to try some blacksmithing. I still want 2 levels of sagecraft. Well, that's sad. boss fight only as you try to leave. Yeah, I spent entirely way too much time on Oblivion. Right, I mentioned earlier, once you can make your own custom items, if you're willing to use glitches, so you can, there's a glitch where if you have two items with the exact same name abilities, aka if you make an item and then clone it, or work hard to make exactly, yeah, use the exact same item. You're already using glitches, you might as well just clone it. Gosh, what is the cloning method that works? You have to have two of the same scroll and one of a different scroll, and you can't get two of the same scroll in the tutorial. Like, it's just not there. You have to spawn one in. And I'd have to look it up again. Something like you go to try to use the two scrolls. Like, you equip the two scrolls, then you drop the one scroll, but then the one scroll will drop two scrolls. So you pick up one, and then you do the same thing again. One scroll turns into two scrolls on the ground, so you pick up the two, now you have three. You equip the three and drop the two, but then like the two becomes like six or something. Like, I don't remember the details, but it was rather effective. Anyway, so if you get two of the exact same item, I'm trying to remember what this thing was. Something about you could equip it, and then like, force and equip it by equipping the other one. Again, I'd have to look it up, but then you can have the effect, you can have the effects of the item, like the enchantments of the item, even if you're no longer wearing the item. But if you ever wear that item again, and then take it off, the effects will come off with it. So you can make, say, a hat of 20% chameleon. I think that 20% chameleon is the maximum chameleon you can put on one item. Like, so you could make, say, 5 separate items of 20% chameleon and become invisible. And even more invisible than invisibility, even. Or you can make, say, a hat of 20% chameleon, clone it, glitch it, and then, boom, permanent 20% chameleon. Then do that 4 more times, have like chameleon hat 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Technically different names. Even if they all start out as the same hat that you just cloned 5 times. Is it? And then, yeah. Work through the glitch, become permanently chameleon, put on whatever hat you want. Nobody can see you unless you, like, go to talk to them, basically. It's quite convenient. Wait, that's the ledge I was on, right? Yeah, that's the ledge. Neat.
Greeting! My journal! Oh, I trust this. What of Horace? A shame that. Thank you for being brave enough to retrieve, as we agreed. Here is some gold for your trouble.
Yeah, it definitely makes some parts of the game way easier than they're supposed to be. You want to sneak, just they can't see you, so just crouch. Go slowly enough they just can't hear you. And everything is fine. You find someone, but your health is starting to get low? Okay, just take a few steps away. They completely lose you. Of course, you can't see yourself in the third person. You can't see yourself anymore, so if you go into third person, you are completely invisible. Because, obviously. In order to make a custom spell, you have to have that spell in your spell pool. Some spell effects don't exist. So if you want a drain stamina custom spell, you either have to play as an orc. You either have to play as an orc. I mean, you have to play as an orc one way or another. Either have your character be an orc, or make a second character, or third, fourth, fifth, whatever number you want now. Make an extra character who is an orc, play as them, get their orc daily ability, which drains stamina. Is it drain stamina, cause fatigue? It's something. I don't think it's drain stamina. It might be cause fatigue. So, play as an orc, with the daily ability to cause fatigue, put it on your spell list. Do some shenanigans about saving the game and reloading the original file. While you're standing at the altar to make a custom spell, the game will not realize that you shouldn't be able to make a custom spell of fatigue. Is it drain? I remember it being drain something, I remember it being fatigue. So I just don't remember what it actually was. Whatever it is. Then you can make a spell. I've never actually done that because it's not an effect. That's really rare. But speaking of drain, you can make custom spells. So you can make something like deal 100 points of damage. But that, of course, costs a lot of spell points to cast. A lot of mana to deal 100 points of damage. However, instead, you can have a lower health 100 points, or like, yeah, something like a lower health 100 points for a set duration. So instead of just dealing 100 damage and paying all that mana, you can have something that says lower their health by 100 points for 1 second. If the health is less than 100, they die either way, but it costs so much less mana.
The steam of summer from the forest, like a runner in the night, or mist from a lover's whisper. Spectral blood from the riverbed wraps our bodies in gloss. The fog eases through blades of grass. We shall grasp these floating strands of summer and capture beauty in our work.
But you can also do this element-wise. Like, deal 100 fire damage for just a second. And then they somehow recover all of their health. I don't remember the exact details, but, you know. So you can have a spell that for really a paltry sum of mana, can essentially deal like 500 damage. But if they have too much health, it will do essentially nothing. And if you're fighting something with that much health, instead you'd want to make a second custom spell that drains all of that stuff for like 3 seconds. So you can cast the 3-second one, and then before that wears out, cast the 1-second one. Although I don't know if they actually stack. Like, I like to think that they do, but I don't actually know. So this has been me playing a video game while constantly talking about a different game. Oh my gosh, the poison apple. If you eat the poison apple, you get a special custom effect. I say custom. Special relatively unique effect of lose 1 health point per second. There is no way to undo this other than going to console commands and saying remove this effect. And in a similar thing, there's no way to have the reverse poison apple effect of like heal 1 health point. You can't have a permanent heal over time with your game without console commands or mods. Keep wanting to remember to say that. Even just like glitches won't do it. You can't make an item that heals you over time and then permanently affix that to you. I have tried looking for it. No. You want to go to get items that increase your max health. You could keep stacking those and just have like a ton of the damage over time becomes less than 50. But you do start off with a healing spell. So 1 damage per second permanently. It shouldn't kill you unless you're already low on health or you forget to heal. Oh, right, the poison apples weigh nothing, which is really important. Wait, I'm sorry, did I harvest? Where did I just harvest from? Yeah, poison apples weigh nothing, so you can keep... Yeah, so you can reverse pickpocket them onto people, give them a poison apple. Eventually, they may eat it, depending on the person. They might or might not eat the poison apple. And if they do, then they take the lose 1 health point per second permanently. And if they are an NPC that respawns, like a guard, the new one that respawns in their place will also have the drain health effect. So if you want to play as a criminal, reverse pickpocket poison apples into all of the guards' pockets, wait for them to eat them.
So, the savior comes for Cartery. You did? I must have I can see you're not convinced. So that toff brat sent you to do a little digging. But you found out first. A stroke of luck. Now, let's come to an arrangement, shall we? Say, I didn't desert the war only to return 10 years later. I'm never going back to Melse. What? You think I had a choice? You can even Webwood is more appealing. I thank the gods for the simple life on that farm. And she tried... Really? The wandering here I've murdered twice before. Finally.
Anyway. Hey, I found out what happened to your family.
Carteret killed them. To think that he did all this just to avoid the war. Thank you for your help. Here is your reward, as promised. Safe journey.
I think if we go upstairs, there's a blacksmithing place, so we can go and... Well... Oh no, I think that's a trainer, not a blacksmithing place. We could just sell the junk, but I want to turn it into supply. Oh, here we go. Here's the forge. Alright, I think everything is good here. I think all that there really is left is to just... Oh, more health regen. Oh. So it's more damage, it's still lightning. Don't worry about the Niskaru stuff. It's lightning with a bit of fire and a good chunk of magic. Well, it's a good enough place to end off an episode. We did a lot of good stuff, I suppose. So,